All right. Hey, what kind of problems am I gonna have today? Alrighty. Programming. I got some fine lighting brushes, so we'll see how that goes. Start in just a second. Hi, baby. Who's my baby boy? Ugh, that was a fucking nightmare. I knew it was gonna be a problem. Hi, Woodrow.
Got worked up and I walked away.
It's fine. All right, let's see. So Mixer stopped working. And I know that I can't open the virtual cam because that's usually what causes my blue screen, I figured out. So leave that alone. I'm just gonna call it good on Watch Me Work.
Like, hold on, I'll show you what it said.
The way they have it set up is really dumb. Let's see here. So why is my Mixer account doing this? Yeah, that's blue screen enough. Okay. Yeah, it happens sometimes. It means you drop some memory somewhere and your computer shat itself.
Oh well. I didn't have a lot of stuff that was important on there, so whatever.
You didn't lose anything.
Okay, good.
You shouldn't lose anything when that happens. The only time you lose stuff is when, like, you literally can't get the hard drive to ever. What, did it restart when you turned it back on? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, what's going on? Oh. Sitting for long periods of time can be unhealthy. Enable reminders. Okay. My stream never works anymore. Streaming right now literally does not work. Let's see what else. See what's working. Should be working. Yay, that's working. I can at least change that. So everything's working but Mixer. Just leave that open. I'll leave that open. I'll leave that open. Hey, Sunny. So, this site tried to recruit me. I don't know if you can hear me or not. The site tried to recruit me, and they told me that they would, like, I don't know, feature me for like 1 day a week or something, which is fine. And it's cool. But they use something called, they use YouTube events, which means you have to go to Google Hangouts to use it. And the only way you can embed that is if you are a monetized partner. So, yeah. So I enabled AdSense on my new account, but it's like, right, exactly. So I enabled AdSense, but it's not like I'm gonna get it. And I explained it, so I emailed the dude and I was like, just, you know, YouTube's new rules is not gonna make this possible. And I looked, and like the other person that was streaming along with me, she wasn't able to do it either. And I'm like, you have to be monetized. So to be able to embed, you have to monetize. In other words, it's stupid anyway, because they shouldn't even be using Google for their own platform. So like, they should just be using their own embedding software if they want to, like, whatever they're doing, like, needs to be them. It shouldn't be Google. Or at the very least, like, have stream keys or something, like rip off some code from somewhere else. Also, Google Hangouts is extra dumb because you have to, you can't, you know, I can't use OBS without using the virtual cam, which is a new thing. Like, I don't even know how people did it before. Just don't drop your drink.
What?
I said just don't drop your drink. Or maybe put something underneath it so it doesn't get wet on the table. There's some napkins here.
What should I put?
And just like fold it in half or something. But yeah, it's really stupid. Hey Eclipse, how are you doing? How does my stream look, by the way, Eclipse? Because I'm using virtual cam through here today, but I actually have it on 60 FPS on Twitch. H264 profile main not high. Okay. I don't know what that means. I'm doing okay. I'm just dealing with like multiple tech issues at the same time because it seems like I always am. Stream looks like Well, I have it at 60 frames per second, and I have it uploading like. I got higher internet speed, so I could stop having problems. I'm trying everything I can. Like, I'm at the point now where like I've just been so frustrated with everything that I can't fucking deal with it anymore. Like I've like almost given up streaming like 4 times this week just from the sheer amount of problems that I just continue to have, like over and over. I keep having problems. I already blue screened once today because of the stupid cam software. I'm like super close to like just buying a new like camera that just is automatically USB, so I don't have to deal with this fucking bullshit. And then I bought a Wacom pad thing, which is fine. It works just fine. It's just I need to like get real Photoshop to use it for some like better brushes, but I like created some of my own brushes in GIMP that work pretty well. So far I've only been using it I've only been using it to make memes, and the actual pen that came with it that you use for like actual like real drawing, it's shit. Like, it's a really crappy pen, and I don't like it at all because of the texture of the pen tip and the way it feels against the surface of the. What are you doing? Oh, my fucking cat. I don't know why he's got to be extra. Do you want to sit with me? Is that what it is? Okay, come here. Come here, Dumbo. Oh. But guess what I do have today that you guys can see if you really want to see? It's me, Belindio. Where is it? Where did it move? Oh, hi, honey. I got my baby boy. He's my baby boy. He's my baby boy. It should be on. Something's using it, apparently. You can't see me kissing him. That's fine. You probably don't need to see me kissing him. He gets enough kisses. Like, all the time. Nope. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. Okay. It's not working because something else is using it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, honey. How are you doing? Hello, Snorty Face. Oh, it's so frustrating to just have problems over and over and over and over and over and over again and like have nothing work and half the time it's not even problems that I'm causing. They're just random shitty problems. Random shitty problems. Watch, it's gonna blue screen again in a little bit. My sister just had her first blue screen ever.
Yeah.
And she did not take well to it. She like texted me and she said she was crying. And I was like, it's okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I like started to panic and then I cried.
Don't do that. Yeah, it's okay. It's like fine. Like, the only time it's bad is if it blue screens and then it never starts up again. Then you're in trouble. And even then, we can probably fix it.
But now I'm like freaked out and I don't even want to write my paper, so I'm just gonna write it on Monday during seminar.
Don't you love that? Like, that's exactly what happens to me. Where you're like ready to work on something and everything's fine, and then everything fucks up and you don't want to do anything.
So I'm just gonna sit and
just gonna sit?
Do nothing.
Do nothing. If only there was something to do around here. If only there was something to do around here. Yeah, my sister's here. Same sister as before. My other sister's not going to come here.
I don't think she likes us.
That's okay. she can not like as many things as she wants to, as long as she stays far away from me. She's a weirdo. She's okay. She's just not anything like me.
Mom says that I look like her. Like Amanda.
A little bit. She has like hazel eyes and a dumb face. What? You don't really look like her.
I think our similarities are blonde.
She doesn't look like her dad either. She doesn't look like Mom at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell that we were related.
Yeah. I look like Mom. I have Mom's nose.
She wasn't streaming. She was just trying to work on a paper.
That's due on Tuesday.
How many words does it have to be?
It has to be 4 pages. Double spaced.
Yeah?
Mhm.
That shouldn't be hard to do. Give Mom 5 minutes. She'll fill it up and... she'll fill up everything you need to know.
I can't do that. Because they said that we can do interviews. And that would be a whole interview.
Like, literally, all you would have to do is talk to her for a
I'd
few
be like,
minutes.
Mom, what
and-
are stereotypes about Wiccans? And are
And
they
she would-
true? And she would go off.
Right? But she
And so-
wouldn't. She would know anyway. She would, like, make stuff up, though. She'd be like, they say Wiccans eat babies. Well, I have never eaten a baby. She would make stuff up. Or she would, like, attribute something someone said to somebody else. Just like somebody else said something else about someone else and it wasn't about that. And that would make for a really interesting paper. You'd be like, my mother, who's not a reliable source, but thinks she is.
Like, I thought about asking
Mom
you about
is
it.
Mom is like the Fox News of information, like opinions.
But it's...
I mean, I was looking when I was in, like, at the end of high school and the beginning of college.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about Angie?
No.
Are you guys ready for this story? You can come bring the chair closer if you want. What? This needs to just go in the trash. Let's just put that, sneak that back in the other room. See, I just brought everything in here to get it out of the way. All I did was put it in my way. All right, so story time.
Hello.
I'm going to tell you about Angie. So, when I was in high school, I lived in Tennessee, and things were like really super bad back then. We were broke. We lived in a house that like had heat that was trying to kill me. You haven't seen my other sister. I said she doesn't look like my mom. I'm talking about my other sister. My other sister doesn't look like my mom at all. Maybe I have shown pictures of her. Anyway, so that's weird. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to not do a mom thing and tell you the entire backstory of this. I'm just going to tell you like as much as you need to know. What you need to know is shit was really bad when I was younger, and I ended up seeing this guy who wanted to join the military. And when you were younger, lived like I did, the military is like what you did. Like that's what you joined the military when you got older. If you didn't have college money, if your parents weren't loaded or whatever, and you didn't have any like prospects, and Lord knows I didn't, you married somebody. And so like I liked the guy, and there was a bunch of drama like earlier in the year about like him not liking me and then deciding he liked me and all sorts of other things, but none of that matters. Anyway, what matters is I moved to Indiana.
Do you have a pen that I can draw with on my phone? Like one of the ones that have...
You mean like a stylus?
Mhm.
Do I have a stylus? I probably do. I think I have one that's like my free cams somewhere. Oh, I said the forbidden word. Sorry. No, I don't actually right now. Wait. Will this stylus work? No. Okay. Sorry. I can make you one later. Anyway. So, I moved to Indiana, and I started having like a little bit more, not really, but like a different kind of abusive life, but a little more of a normal life. And I lived with my dad and my grandma, and I was going to school like regularly, and I wasn't necessarily eating more, but food was offered to me at least sometimes. Like we had meals and stuff. So anyway, in my junior year, Walter, this guy, came up, and he wanted to marry me, and he like gave me a ring and everything, and I was like, all right, let's get married, because I was fucking stupid, because I was 15, right? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's get married. You'll join the military, and I'll be your wife, and we can have sex, or whatever, whatever the fuck, you know how it is. So throughout this like whole time, like I'm pretty like both of us like dated other people basically. But it was like not really talked about until I visited down in Tennessee. And so anyway, in high school, my best friend's name was Lee. And Lee was like, she was like really nice, but she was also really super sheltered. Like her mom was like really nice to her, and like she got everything she wanted like all the time. Like she was the kind of girl who had like 7,000 senior photos, and she went to Olin Mills to get photos done, and she went to Glamour Shots to get photos done. Like not like rich, but just like extra mega spoiled. And so like she's like, and throughout high school, like I had watched her like undermine people's relationships so she could have boyfriends multiple times.
That's sad.
Yeah. Well, skip to me finding out that I'm sick and that I'm like, having problems with my blood and stuff. And we go down to, this is my senior year. We've just graduated. We go down to Tennessee, and can that not happen? So we go down to Tennessee to visit Walter and his brothers. And here's what we find. Walter and his brothers are like living in squalor. Walter's not in the military because he had some problem with his back. His brothers aren't working. They're living in their parents' house that they used to live in, but their parents moved, but they stayed. We're in Tennessee. They're like starving. The house is trashed. The whole thing was a mess. And like at that moment, I was like starting to get my life together. I wasn't super happy about it, and I complained to Lee about it, and she tells me in the middle of this trip that she thinks she's in love with Walter. And knowing me, just how I am, because that's how I am, I was like, well, I'm sick, and I probably can't have kids, and he wants to have kids, and you're a Christian, and he's a Christian, and you should tell him. So she told him. And then he came to me, and he was like, Lee told me that she loved me, and blah, blah, blah. Like, literally, she just met him, okay? Like, she'd never talked to him before that, like, week. And so he was like, I'm not interested in her. I don't even know why you told her to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, whatever. So skip to college. So I'm in college, and I'm roommates with Lee. And pretty much the only reason I went to that college is because that's where Lee wanted to go. And so I went there, and I wanted to study art, even though I didn't even think I was going to like be a professional artist. I just wanted to learn more about art in general and like take art history and things like that. So Lee starts acting really weird, and she keeps like saying shit like, oh, if you only knew, like every time I talk about anything, like she starts like getting all wonky and stupid. And one day she like leaves, and she leaves her diary like sitting on her desk open. And it's literally a page with a photo of her and Walter. And so I like walk over to it, and I look, and it's like, I've been talking to Walter again, and I just love him so much, and I can't wait until Belinda's out of the picture, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I gave them permission to date, and then she went behind my back, and like, they went behind my back and like cheated, basically. They weren't seeing each other. They were just like sexting and, whatever else, dumb assholes do. And so I like went off on her, like flipped out, like 100% flipped out on her, because I was pissed because she lied to me. And because she's supposed to be my best friend. She's my goddamn roommate, And if you've ever like known me, I don't really hold a grudge and I don't stay mad at people. Like that's not my thing. And so like I was like really upset. But anyway, she just took off and left school and she just left me there alone. And I didn't have any friends because of fucking course I didn't have any friends. Come on. And she just left and I couldn't talk to her. She had me like blocked. I couldn't talk to her, nothing, all this other shit. And so they gave me a new roommate. By the time I got a new roommate, I had a boyfriend named Matt. We were dating like not, we hadn't, like, we weren't super serious, but we've been dating for a while. And Matt, I don't know, Matt, in the long run, Matt turned out to be an asshole. Not necessarily to me, but to like everybody else that he dated, if that makes sense. He's also a cheater. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, during that time, I roomed with Angie. And now Angie is actually who this story is about. Angie is unlike any person that I've ever had to spend like a decent amount of time with. She's very sheltered in her life where she grew up, and very much like a different situation than anything clearly that I've dealt with. She had a bunch of like white pride books in her arsenal, I guess you could say. She tended to believe that everything that she didn't like or everything that she thought was like risque or whatever, it was all pornography to her. She called everything pornography, like all the time. And so that meant that like when she was in the room, I couldn't watch like MTV or whatever, like anything that wasn't. She watched 3 shows. It was like women's bowling, women's tennis, and the Waltons. And I'll have you know, the Waltons comes on fucking 3 times a day. Like, I'm not even kidding. It comes on like at least 3 times a day. So we'll just start there. So Angie seemed like a nice enough person, but every once in a while she would just say something that was totally off the wall and like ridiculous. Like I would come in from like being at a late studio, maybe like 9 o'clock. I would come in, she would be asleep. No, she would be asleep, and I would come in, and she'd be like, "Where are you coming in so late? Where are you even are worth 2 cents?" And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, that's just something my mother always said. If you come in that late, you're not worth 2 cents." And I'm like, "Bitch, we're in college." Like, but I didn't say that because I was super not wanting to like offend her or upset her. You know, I don't know. Anyway. So that was just like the start of things. Things started to get a little bit weird. She kept saying, I mean, and I'm an art student, so that means that, you know, sometimes I drew things that were different, you know, like the kind of things you draw in art school, like, you know, nude bodies. And, you know, I come home to my room one day and all of my goddamn studies are torn up and on my bed. And I was like, "Why did you tear up my drawings, Angie?" And she's like, "Well, we didn't need any pornography in the room." And I'm like, "Listen." So she did that. And so I stopped, like, after that, I started keeping my portfolio in the lab. So she like tore my fucking drawings up. One day, like out of the blue, she started asking me what I was doing in my sleep. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, sometimes you say stuff in your sleep, and I just wanted to know what you were saying." And I'm like, "I was asleep. What?" Like, and then I would like wake up, and she would be sitting on her bed, jammed up against the fucking wall with a notepad in her hands, just like staring at me and writing shit down. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Angie? And she's like, I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying in case you're casting a spell on me. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Like, I dealt with a little bit of that, like, when I was younger in high school, but that was, so, the pièce de résistance of Angie-ness happened. Well, she kept doing things like, she would leave Bible on my bed with, like, sticky notes in it that were like, you need to read this, you know, and I'm like, I was like, first of all, Angie, I used to go to church. I used to be the FCA president. I used to do all that shit. Like, I've read the fucking Bible. Like, leave me alone. And I was like, you know, please, and I tried to be polite. I was like, please stop doing this. You know, please don't. Whatever. And she would, you know, I would come in from classes in the afternoon in between, you know, my morning and night classes. And I would just like lay down and take a nap. And she would come in and like crank the fucking Waltons up. And when I would ask her to turn it down, she'd be like, well, you don't need to be sleeping in the middle of the day. Just like, like, I just want to take a fucking nap. Some people sleep in the day. Holy shit. Okay, so. My friend Matt comes over with me one day. And my boyfriend at the time, I can't remember if he was my boyfriend at the time or not. It doesn't fucking matter. And we walk in the room. And Angie is just disturbed. She's beside herself. She's just eyes all buggy. I don't know what's going on. And she looks at me. And she looks at Matt. She looks at me. And she's like, Belinda, did you cast a spell on your fan? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And she was like, well, your fan is off. And when you're not here, it turns. And I was like, Angie, my fan is in the window. And the window is open, so there's like air, you know, going through it. And are we having this conversation right now? Because And she was like, I don't believe you. My fan doesn't turn like that. And I was like, Angie, your fan is on the desk sitting in front of the mirror. It's not going to turn. Mine's in front of the window like it should be because that's how air circulation works. Well, I don't believe you. And my friend Matt, she like stomped out of the room. And my friend Matt was like, if I hadn't seen that, I would never have believed that happened. And I was just stunned. Like, I was stunned that like, a grown person who's in college actually thought I cast a spell on my fucking fan just to make it turn, just to bother her. Like, even if I could cast spells, why would that be the spell? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck her up real good. Let me just make my fan turn a little bit while I'm gone. Specifically while I'm gone. And I can't remember exactly when I broke. But I just started writing down the shit she would do. When people come over, she would go in the hallway. She would stomp out of my room and go in the hallway and like sit down against the wall and like do her homework. Even though she could talk to us. Like we would never like, I was never rude to her. And she would do things like just get into my stuff. Like I would walk in and she would be using my brush. And I'm like, okay. Like, that's interesting. I started writing stuff down. Like, I started slowly, like, writing down all the shit she was doing. And finally, like, I was at the day where I was like, I'm going to throw this bitch out the window. Like, I'm going to break and I'm going to throw her out the window. Because before that, like, when I was in high school, and before all the shit went down with my friend, I was probably, like, the most vociferous, like, I would attack anybody for any reason if they were being a shithead. Like 10 times worse than I am now. And if somebody was like being fucking dumb, I would call them on it like immediately. And I was trying to be nice to her because I thought maybe there's something wrong with her. I don't know. I was just trying to be nice. I don't know. Like I was dumb. I should have been mean because that did not work out for me. So I wrote everything down and I went to the RA and I was like, listen, I fear for this girl's safety because I'm going to hurt her. And I don't know what else to do. I keep finding the Bible on my bed. She keeps talking to me about converting to Christianity. She just keeps using my stuff. She keeps tearing up my homework. Like, I can't. She keeps accusing me of, casting spells in my sleep and casting spells on things in the room. And just, I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm nice, but I'm not that nice. And so my RA did not believe me. She thought I was like exaggerating. She didn't believe me at all. And then she went to Angie and talked to her. And Angie confirmed that she did every single thing on that list. She was like, yeah, I did all that. And my RA was like, okay, well, you can't have a roommate anymore. Like, they snatched her out of that building so fast. And they put her in a room by herself. They were like, no, that's just traumatizing. So they put her in a room by herself, and yeah, but I don't want to do, she would have killed me. Do you not understand how these people are? She probably has like a whole fucking crew of people that could torch my house at any minute. Like, come on now. I know better than that. You should know better than that. You don't do that shit. You don't play into their fears. That's how you get like fucking, no, the townspeople coming after you, man. I mean, she already thought I was a monster. She just didn't have any proof. I didn't need to make it worse. So, Angie worked in the bookstore, and I tried my best to avoid her as much as I can. But sometimes you just, you can't avoid people, and I ended up having to go to the bookstore for something, and she happened to be working that day. And she was like, Belinda, I just want to talk to you, if that's okay. If we could have breakfast tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm still like trying to be nice, like. And so we sit down, and she starts telling me, this is like the next day. She starts telling me the story about how when she first went to college, because I guess she took some time off, her first roommate was a drug addict. And she like didn't have a good family, not that I did, but that like Angie kind of took care of her, and that, that was why she was like being so hard on me, I guess. And she said things like, that, her and her roommate would do things like, do each other's laundry and use each other's things and stuff like that. And Angie hadn't had a roommate before. And I was like, okay, I was like, that's valid. But it was like, I was just like, it was actually, that stuff wouldn't have bothered me nearly as much as the like, the trying to convert me to your cult shit. And so what ended up happening, like, as we're sitting there, she's like, well, I just wanted to talk to you because there's this boy who's a Satan worshiper like you in our town. And he just died of cancer. And right before he died, he took Jesus into his heart. And I just wanted to ask you if you would take Jesus into your heart. And I was like, I just like stood up, I grabbed my food, and I said, do not ever speak to me again. And I walked away. I was done. I was fucking done. And that was the last time I saw her. Thank fuck. I saw her in the bookstore after that, but I avoided the shit out of her. I did not go anywhere near her. My friend called her Angie with the white trash stare. I didn't call her that, but yeah, that was Angie. That was just like the beginning of college. Like, that's just, maybe it's because like I just went through so much other shit like when I was younger that like it didn't really register how crazy she was to me because I was used to crazy. When you get used to like a certain level of crazy in your life, you like, I think it's harder to like notice how crazy somebody is, if that makes sense. Because like sometimes like people are crazy and like they do something and other people are like, holy shit, that person's crazy. And like, and you're like, oh no, they're just eccentric. And it's like, no, they're nuts. And she was nuts. And I didn't notice it because everybody was nuts that I knew. So It was just, it was crazy. It was crazy. And now, like, you're like, I mean, I'm guessing you didn't go to college because you can't just, like, beat people up because they do stuff to your art. People already thought I killed my first roommate because of the fight we had, and people thought that, like, because she disappeared the next day that I killed her. That was a rumor going around for, like, 3 years. I didn't even hear about it until 3 years in. Because I needed that. That's what I needed. I, like, came out for some karaoke contest. And somebody was like, aren't you the girl that killed her roommate? And I was like, do you really think they would let me keep going to school here if I murdered my fucking roommate? Come on. And people said they heard you saying you were going to kill her. I was like, well, yeah, I killed her. Leave me alone. That was a weird night because I hadn't really come out of my room much, and the only time I did was for the Halloween decorating contests, which I helped them do and win. But that was the only time I ever really talked to anybody. So maybe they thought that I was, like, obsessed with murder or something. I don't know. Well, because, like, one year we just, like, decorated it all goofy and, like, did, like, a scary campsite type thing. And then one year we did, I actually did a full murder mystery, and we made a video of the murder. So they probably thought, you know, this girl's batshit insane, which I wasn't. I just really liked that idea of, like, instead of having a, like, haunted house, to have, like, a mystery to, like, make people have to solve. And they had to, like, figure out, like, based on the clues, like, what happened, and then they got to watch the video. It was pretty cool. Yeah, but Eclipse, it's my shitty college art. Like, I would have ripped it up too. I mean, it was bad. It's not like she ripped up my journal or, like, anything I actually cared about. It was just, it's just that it was for a grade. That was what pissed me off. Actually, what upset me more is than that is I took a bunch of my artwork home and I threw a bunch out. Like, it was in my grandma's house, and I threw a bunch of my artwork away. And my grandma dug it out of the trash and hung it on the walls. And I was like, Jesus, if I knew you wanted some of my artwork, I would have just given it to you. Please don't hang my trash. Oh my God. It was like all my shitty, fucked up drawings that were, like, not good at all. Like, me with, like, a wonky eye holding a bunny that's, like, you know, lopsided head or whatever. That was a whole thing. Yeah, when they threw out my grandma's art when she died, they threw away a lot of her stuff. They threw away my paintings too, that my grandma had hanging on the wall. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the paintings were the least of my worries. It was just, you know, worrying that I was going to get stabbed to death in my sleep by somebody who thought I was casting spells on them. I was far more concerned about that. If you know what I mean. Maybe you're too sensitive, sir. I try not to be mean to people for the most part. But no, I don't know. But yeah, I went from being, like, the badass in high school to being, like, the person who didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And then I went back to being like, you know what? Fuck everybody. I'm done. Done dealing with your shit. It was a trying time. After that, my roommate was a theater major, and she was pretty nice. And I was already, like, part of the theater group, kind of. And I mean, I knew a bunch of people in it, and I had dated one of the guys in theater, so I pretty much knew that group. So that was a little bit easier. She ended up getting. You had to be 21 to get, like, a single room in the other building, and they put you on a waiting list, and she was just on a waiting list for that, so that was the only reason she had me. But I had no I had no roommate the year after that. They just didn't give me one. And then the last year that I was there, they were going to give me a roommate, but she like walked in my room with her family, like, and she was going to be coming like 2 days after, I thought, but I was like walking around the room naked, and she just walked in with her whole family, and then they just like walked right back out, and she went down the hall and like got a roommate with somebody she knew. I was like, okay, bye. I was like, see ya. Well, it's okay to be sensitive. You just got to be sensitive about the right things. Like, are the things you're sensitive about ego related, or are you sensitive about things that, like, you know, that matter, like, hurting people's friends, or just like actually being mean? Cuz like I get annoyed like sometimes when people, say things. People don't really hurt my feelings. Like it's pretty hard to like actually hurt my feelings. But like fuck around with my friends, like that pisses me off, and then I get upset. Did I get some ink? Some ink that will work for this. I think I got some new ink. Oh, let's see here. Let's try this ink. What did I get? To mix this? Like some kind of pleb? How dare you make me mix my own colors? Now it is actually pretty hard to like actually piss me off. Like there are things that people do that will like get me. Like almost nothing will set me off faster than like a trans joke. You make a trans joke, I'm probably going to scream at you. And if I don't know you, I'm probably going to just ban you. Like you'll be gone. That's actually what happened with my friend, that guy, not my friend, but that guy, fucking Penamini, man. He kept on saying like low-key racist shit and, trans bashing and, things like that. And like after a while, like and I would warn him, and then I would give him timeouts and stuff. But after a while I was like, you know what, fuck you, dude, I'm done. Like I'm fucking done. I'm done with your bullshoy. Ooh, that's nasty. It just like came out and like a worm came out instead of like it didn't drip. It just like pooped some bird poop on my plate. That's nasty. So here's some ink. And some ink. I don't know what I'm doing. That's like my motto. That should just be the name of my channel. What? I don't know what I'm doing. Welcome to I Don't Know What I'm Doing. What are we doing wrong today? Okay, so that looks really good. This is the height of graphic design right here. What is it? I was always talking about 5-minute crafts. That looks really good. That's designed so well. I wish it could be as cool as 5-minute crafts and just fix everything with a hot glue gun. Maybe that's what I should start to do today. I could just like do this journal entry and then just like make stuff that shouldn't be made with hot glue guns. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I've had that happen with a few friends. But like my thing is, I guess, I don't know, I'm weird about stuff like that because like I know that like sometimes people get in relationships and they kind of abandon their friends, and then I know that sometimes like people have life changes and they abandon their friends. I also notice sometimes people just like they get older and they kind of like have hormone stuff that, you know, fucks with them, and, you know, maybe they have things they're not comfortable like talking about anymore, or maybe they like get out of doing what they used to like doing. So like I don't really blame people that like kind of fall out of contact, because like there are people that I would consider some of my best friends that like I don't really talk to that often. And that's because I don't need to. Like, you know, we follow each other on social media and stuff like that, but like I don't need to talk to that person every day to like feel like I'm their friend. And then I have other people that like have just fallen off the face of the earth, and like that was their decision. And you know, I respect it. I let them do that. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to bother them if they don't want to talk to me, but yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks. Like I know that it can hurt your feelings a lot when that happens. Have you tried reaching out? Yeah, and I mean, well, that's a self-esteem thing. When people don't respond the way you expect them to, and you know. What's LMAO about me not knowing what I'm doing? Hey, Willie. Excuse me? Just kidding, not excused. Why did the music stop? Oh no, I turned it all the way down. Apparently, I'm stupid. Oh no. Oh no, can we just have the music that's not with words? Can I just have that like all the time? No words?
At mom.
Huh?
I said at mom.
What music with no words?
No.
Glad I'm not on cam. Do you want me to clean that off for you?
No.
Huh?
No. Please use it.
You want to use my pad? I just offered to let you use an awesome gadget. Do you want to use it or not?
Sure.
P.S. It sucks. I'm just kidding. Here's how it works. So, this is the paper area. And I've got a couple of sheets here, so you can do like 2. But what you do, and it's like nice for your lap too, so that works. So, this is up the way I have it oriented. You turn it on. And this is the pen you use. And then what you'll notice is you hit this button. And when you get the pen closed, see how it's green? That means it's ready. And as soon as you touch the pen down, it will turn blue. If you want to save it, you hit this button and it'll give you a new one. You just lift up the page or flip it over or whatever and do a new drawing. It saves everything to the tablet, then I can put it on the computer. If you want to do another layer, you do this twice really fast. If you want to do a layer in the same drawing, which probably isn't necessary, but as soon as you touch it to the paper, it should turn blue. It means it's picked up the pen. Okay. Don't tell me shit like that. You're gonna give me a heart attack. He's like, I'm watching from the car. All right, let's get that black ink. Get that black ink going here. I want to get some ink. I just wanted to use these liners today. I just wanted to try them out. I got all these brushes from China. I like this song even though it has words. You make me feel good like no other. Isn't my voice great? I'm a professional singer, you guys. You make me feel good. You're my horizon. Okay, I'm gonna make a call right now. I need to make a phone call. I'm gonna let you guys listen, but I'm not gonna say any personal stuff. So I just need to talk. I need to call this lady.
Is it about the house thing?
Yeah. Why is me? Don't know the words. That's not the right inbox. There we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is like personal, so don't make fun of me, okay? I'm thinking about leaving my stream up like as is, like instead of recording. So, because I normally have been recording. I figured out how to make it not blue screen anymore. So, keypad 317 675 7789. I feel like this person doesn't have a lot of business. Hi, Candy. This is Belinda. I'm sorry for the delay in calling you. And so I just had a couple of questions about, I guess, how your service works. Okay, so do you need like photos of or anything? Oh, that's okay. Do you want to call me back? Okay. Okay, some photos. Okay. Right. Okay, so here's the thing. She has a 2-story house. She's currently in the hospital right now she's recovering hip surgery, and she's staying in a nursing home until she gets home because her house is not in any kind of shape that she can be home. So I don't know exactly how many bedrooms do you guys have?
I don't know.
Like 6?
Hold on.
Oh, there's a lot. It's a big house. She's in Fountain Square. 6 bedrooms. It's 2 bathrooms or 3?
2.
2 bathrooms. Okay. Okay. She had hip surgery, and she's recovering from a pretty major one. This will be her 3rd or 4th one, and they had to replace a lot of her pelvic bone. So what I'm looking for really is somebody who's worked with, someone with like a hoarding anxiety disorder before, and also, maybe with a team of people that we can really get. She's really concerned about her craft room, and she wants to like have her crafts, which I totally understand. But she's been holding on to a lot of stuff for a long time, and she's brought stuff over from her old house that still probably has like possibly dead mice, droppings and things like that. So there's a sanitary issue, as well as cats and dogs in the house. We may have to take up the carpet and stuff. So I don't know like what kind of rates I'm looking at or anything like that, but I can probably get photos. Maybe tomorrow I can take my sister over there to see her dogs, and then I can get photos of things. Um, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry, so I know she's, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I work nights, so I was like, whoa. But yeah. So she knows that I'm talking to people about this. So this is not like news to her or anything. She's not currently getting treated for her anxiety, but we've talked about it, and I think she will be mostly like responsive to this as long as like she's able to keep the things she wants to keep. I know that it's just been really overwhelming for her for a long time, especially with her hip being as bad as it is. Um, and she's just now becoming aware. Like she knew it was a problem, but she's just now becoming aware of like the severity of the fact of like what this anxiety disorder actually is and what it does. So, um, so she's at least like open to the idea, and I wouldn't have called otherwise. So I will, I'll try to get some pictures and, send them your way, because up until now it's just been her wanting to have her friends do it for her for like a little bit of money, doing things here and there, and then, well, it's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. Yeah, and the thing I told her too is that, by having somebody professional do it, you won't just have like your friends run out on you and leave the job half done like you keep having. So,
You also won't have people stealing from you.
right, and that's exactly what it is too. And she's only focusing on the things she wants when her friends come over and help. That, she's only doing, little things at a time, or they steal from her, which is even worse. So, yeah. Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, and if I can get some photos, I'll get them to you as soon as possible. And then what I'll do is, I'll give you, her number. She's very hard of hearing, so you'll probably have to, like, which is why I'm talking so loud right now. You'll probably like have to kind of shout a little bit, but all right. Thank you. Just, I mean, I don't really. Do you have any idea like what kind of like money area I'm looking at, just so I can know and to start like putting money together? It's 2 stories. It's on Churchman Avenue. It's got a great big living room, a relatively big dining room, 6 bedrooms, upstairs and downstairs. Oh, there is a pathway through things. I think that most of the stuff that's piled up is, yeah, the whole house is covered with stuff, right? Floor to
Mm-hmm.
ceiling?
Basically.
Yeah. Are there mice in every room?
I'm not sure.
We don't know. But there's going to be like dog poop and pee and stuff. So, all right. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye. Okay. So she needs pictures. I knew I wasn't muted. I'm actually recording this because I just want like,
Proof.
well, I want it for posterity that I wasn't being shitty about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's not my like goal. My goal isn't to be shitty about it. My goal is to get it taken care of so that we're not dealing with this for another, 15 years, which is how long she's been like this. And it is every bit of that bad. And I wanted to also make sure that I did it while you were here, so I wasn't exaggerating anything, and I also got the information that I needed, because it's been long enough since I've been in the house that, I'm going off of what she told me, and from what it sounds like my mom said it's pretty bad.
It is really bad.
Like, are kids allowed to come to your house?
No.
Okay. That's,
Like they are, but I don't want them to. So
yeah.
I'm saying no.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's like I said before, I used to have a boyfriend who, like, I was dating a guy, and we went to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, and he broke up with me right afterward because he was so upset that I took him there. Like, he screamed at me all the way home, and he was like, "How could you do that to me? I have anxiety." And, like, I didn't know it was going to be like that, because the last time I'd been in the house, she had just moved in, and she was still, like, taking care of it and stuff. She didn't give me a price. She can't give me a price without photos, which I understand. It's just that I know it's going to be a lot of money, and it's going to be money I don't have. It's going to cost more money than the house cost.
Yeah. Especially since it's gotten terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. And, like, I don't know, like, I just,
And if you can't take the pictures, I can take them. Because I've been in the house before.
sure. I mean,
I've been in the house before.
Well, if I take you to see you wanted to see the dogs, so if I take you to see the dogs, then, I mean, I'm going to be there, so. But I told Mom that I was probably going to have to take pictures of the house to get a price. I also told her that, like, I'm not going to help her if she's just going to try to have somebody do it that's one of her friends. And the lady said the same thing. She's like, yeah, when it's one of the friends, you know, they'll only do what you ask them to do. And, of course, somebody who has this problem isn't going to ask them to do everything, just what they want. And that just makes it worse.
Because then not all of it gets done.
Right. And in fact, not only does not all of it get done, like barely any of it gets done. The last time she had me over there, CPS was going to come the next day, and like, you know, we were cleaning for 8 hours, and all we managed was the dog poop on the floor and some of the dishes cleaned. Like, that was it. And all Mom cared about, she'd hired some kids to come over, was moving her lamps and her table. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, and I thought maybe it was because, you know, she just got out of surgery and, you know, she was drugged up. And I think that they were coming because of something PJ did. I don't know if you remember what happened.
No.
He had taken some of Mom's pills and he had OD'd. And he was in the hospital. So the day Mom was getting her surgery, PJ was in the hospital. Do you remember that?
Yeah, sort of.
I mean, you were pretty young when that happened, so.
I remember when the only thing I remember is when Mom freaked out.
Yeah.
When she was taking non-smoking pills.
Uh-huh.
And she thought, oh, well, if I just take one every time I want a cigarette, that'll be fine.
No, that's super bad.
Yeah. And then she, like, started, like, hallucinating.
Well, she was trying to say that it was her other pills that was causing her to hallucinate, and then she tried to say that she wasn't hallucinating, so, and I was like, okay, you will come up with reasons to not do them, and you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to do everything all at once. Sometimes it just takes doing a tiny bit. I got, like, 4 friends in this situation, you know? One friend especially that I'm really worried about. And it's like, you know, I'm not in a position to tell any of them what to do. The only person I'm in a position to tell what to do is my mom. And the only reason I'm in a position to tell her what to do is because she put me there. You know? And it's not like I haven't helped her over the years, because I have. I try to help her whenever I can. And I guess she told her social worker that, you know, she doesn't see me at all because I can't come in the house. And I'm like, yeah, I can't come in the house between the smoke and the, you know, allergens. And I know that it's affecting you too. I'm worried about you going back in the house. So what the lady said was that she should talk to Mom.
Yeah.
Because she said if there's not a connection between, like that it won't work. Like, that it has to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem is, like, Mom is really, she's really suspicious of, like, everybody, especially other women.
Yeah.
Like, she always thinks that, like, somebody's out to get her or cause her harm. So it's gonna be kind of hard to, like,
Get her to
convince her that, like, somebody's gonna help her. Because she, like, does so much better with men because she can manipulate them. But I don't want her to, like... The other company that I found, I just didn't like them. They were like, I don't know, they were like, they were called Fire Dogs. And it was like...
What?
Yeah, it was this company called Fire Dogs, DAWGS. And they show up outside of your house with a big-ass red truck. And, like, they're, like, you know, removal specialists. And it's super obvious and, like, probably really embarrassing. You know what I mean? It's one thing if you, like, have somebody bring a dumpster outside the house. It's another thing if, like, Fire Dogs shows up to your house and you got a fucking thing that looks like a fire truck in your goddamn yard and a bunch of people. And here, I'll show you. Hey, Mark. Sorry I'm not saying much. I'm talking to my sister a lot. Fire Dogs. Fire Dogs. Fire Dogs junk removal service. Like, it's like hoarding cleanup. Like, literally. And one of the... What kind of stickers?
Like, I want one for my water bottle.
What kind of sticker?
I don't know.
Okay, do you want like a vinyl like sticker, or do you want like a printed sticker?
I don't know.
Cause like I have sticky that's like double-sided, but then I also have vinyl that I can do cutouts with. So I can print something or draw something and turn it into a sticker if you want, or I can cut out vinyl, but I have to get the machine out.
Okay. I was thinking of like me, so that way people would know it was mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want like a photo?
I was thinking of the, like, either the drawing you did of me or a photo.
Okay. Yeah. If I can print it, I have to print it on like regular paper, I think.
Also, I'm done with this because he's cute and I don't want
You want a new one? Click the plus button. Not saved. There's the new one. Oh shit. Flip it over. There you go. Once you touch it to it again, it starts. It's very easy. And it'll last a while. So yeah, like I'm and like but like when I talked to Mom, I was like, you know, this is like really serious, and I'm not trying to be shitty, but like what she said to me, and this is what bothered me. She said that if they came to the house for an assessment for her physical therapy, that the person who came would have to call the health department because of how bad it is. So she's aware of how bad it is. Like that's her being aware. And she said, and if that happens, they'll take Lish from me. And I'm like, okay, so if you know the house is that bad, then there's like literally no excuse for it. And she kept making excuses. Let me switch servers. I'm gonna switch servers. So so the guy said that the lady said she does have a team, so that works. Your music book? What music book? Oh, you mean like the score? I actually really like this acrylic ink. I think, Sunny, if you're around still and listening at all, I think the ink that you got was actually one of the translucent or transparent ones, because these other ones aren't transparent at all. Like, these are like full color. They're almost like paint, but thinner.
How long do you think it's gonna take for that person to look at Brian's pool table?
I don't know. Why?
Because Brian said if it doesn't take too long, we could still go to Kings Island.
Oh. We can always go on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to work Sunday night, and you have to get back. I don't know. We'll see. I would honestly like to stay at the house this weekend. I have so much shit to do. But we don't. I'll see. It's just that I haven't actually had a day, like, off.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, like, every weekend we've done something, or there's, like, so, like, one week I had to work, and then I forget what we did the next weekend. I don't even remember. And then last weekend, of course, we went to Chicago. I actually talked to Mama about the spa a little bit, and she said it sounded like it was a neat place. I was like, it is. It's the best. And I explained, like, how they do everything and how it works and like how they started, you know, and like why. Interesting. What play is it? Eclipse, is it better now? I changed servers. Hopefully that fixed it a little bit. There's a program that you need to pull the stuff off of that called Inkspace. You can pull it. You can use your USB 3, or I can pull it onto mine and then send it to you. Brian has another thing he forgot about. He just mentioned in my Discord. He said he's got the air conditioning guy is coming tomorrow. My first fine liner. Or fine lining brush anyway. Yeah, you better be careful with that, Loon. And stretch yourself too thin. What? He's working on some stuff. This song is stupid. You can tell me when we're naked. I'm not listening to you unless you're naked. That's your worth to me. I don't like the song. It needs to go. Thumbs down. Why is this song about naked too? What the fuck? Well, I'm more worried about just, you know, you haven't even gotten your regular schedule yet, so like I don't want you to end up in a situation where you get your schedule and you can't do it because you've got other stuff going on. Like you could, there's like every reality that you could get your schedule next week. And clearly my playlist is. I'm not. But my playlist is all about it. Man, this music can go away. Let me find something else. Let me go back to trance. There's a reason I always end up on the same shit. Fuck off, I don't want to hear this. It's really terrible. This music really sucks. Here we go. Let's work it out. There's also the whole thing of everybody having to like switch their hours around to get more hours during the day. Hopefully that won't affect your stuff. I don't know what else to draw. I don't think I've ever said that sentence in my entire life. I don't know what else to draw. So that's fine. If you don't want to draw anything else, don't draw anything else. So you can just turn it off and it'll have it. It should save it. Or if you hit the new button or whatever, like if you hit the new button again, it'll save. It'll still save what you had. I have like 14 photo editing apps on my phone now, and I'm pretty sure it's super unhappy with me. Because I was making memes on my phone, which is a terrible idea, by the way. Don't do it. I wouldn't suggest it. Especially if you have an old-ass phone like mine. What kind of paper is this that it's doing that? Let me work on that. Hold on. I'm gonna gesso the back. Nah, calm your titties. Don't do that. Tape it down. Oh look, extra tape with cat hair on it. That's perfect. I already had a little bit on there. Catch me outside, hey baby there. I miss singing. I haven't sang in a long time. I mean, like, on camera. I mean, like, in a professional setting. Not, like, just making up songs about crossing the street. Whatever the fuck that was. I don't even remember. It was probably about crossing the street. Actually, who knows? It could have been about literally anything. Oh, yeah. It was about crossing the street because I was cold. And I was talking about it being cold. Singing songs and making art is the only way I remember anything. Like, literally.
Flat.
Thanks, Trauma. What?
This guy, he looks flat.
I mean, that happens sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you just have a flat face. That's life. You should make a monster. You should make a little monster. I'll teach you the secret. You draw a blob and then put eyes on it. That's what I do. Well, here's the thing. I don't think that you should have to worry about necessarily the job being your priority, but I think priority, Jesus Christ. Hello, I'm Italian today. A priori. Anyway, back to English. So, it's not that I think that, like, you should have to worry about that so much as I think that I wouldn't do a lot of side stuff until you're fully trained. Because once you're fully trained, like, it's so much easier to, like, I don't know. You don't have to worry about being on everyone else's schedule and stuff like that, you know? We could write a song. We could, like, write a song. How about, let's see. I could get my keyboard out. It's so far away. It's too far away for the keyboard. I could get the EWI. I got a flute up there somewhere.
Why? You play the flute?
No, I just have one for like no reason.
Okay.
I think I have a piccolo too. I've only played this flute like one time. Look at it. What is that? That's awesome. That's amazing. I'm gonna share all those.
Okay.
And make stickers out of them.
I'll put those on my water
No,
bottle.
these will be like stickers that I'll put on Facebook, and I'll use them whenever I want, like to react to something. I'll be like, "Bah." Oh, it's perfect. I like the angry one.
When you get
You guys need to see this. These are amazing. Look at that. I need more of those, like a whole lot more of those, please.
Okay. Like of these ones or this
All
one?
of them.
All of them.
Like, it's so fucking awesome. All right, hold on.
Another drink.
Do what?
Can I have another drink?
No. Hold on. Yeah, I'll make another drink. I'll be right back, and we'll do a project. It'll be a project.
While I draw the little guys.
Well, you can, yeah. I mean, oh, Woodrow.
Is he sleeping?
Well, no, not exactly.
I don't know where to put my
Here, I got mine.
Oh, it's under here.
Oh, Brian's messaging me because I needed that right now. Wasn't in the middle of a stream or anything. Oh, that's my face. No.
Yeah.
Woodrow. Hey, Woodrow, what you doing? Are you happy? Hey, baby. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? Did you just take a picture of my ass?
I'm taking a picture of me.
Woodrow. He wants me to pet him so bad. Hey, buddy. You want something? I know, you're so happy. Here you go, floppy boy. I'll pet you. You're funny. Okay, bring your cup. Duh. Okay, joy.
The money.
The joy.
Okay. Desk drawer.
Oh, it's way better with strawberry.
Where? In here?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I know there's like not a small amount of pills in here, but it's these.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Here,
I
take
have,
that.
like-
it's... How many pills does Belinda have in this drawer? Too many. I might be... Oh, there they are. I put the wrong cap on them.
I don't want this.
I don't care. Put it somewhere then. We'll put it somewhere. Isn't that better?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm back. Basically, that's all I was trying to say is like once you're trained up and like on your regular schedule, then you can know like 100% like when you're gonna be free. That's all I was trying to say. Alright.
So I'm gonna draw some more angry whatevers.
Okay. So open up. So if you want a new paper, I can give you new paper, or new paper's probably fine. Here. So what I'm doing, what I've been doing, is just taking these pages and just folding them in half. I think that'll work for like 3 hours on the battery. Isn't this good? It's better. I just don't have that much strawberry left. I have to buy some more. Ow.
What did you do?
Nothing. I definitely didn't poke myself on this. Definitely didn't cut off my fingernail again. Hey, Mark. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let us play. Probably not going to be able to hear this thing that I'm working. So, I'm pretty sure that I actually bought, see if I can clean this out really quick. Wait, I'm not like ruining my palette like I tend to do. So, oh, interesting. Oh yeah, that's watercolor. I'm an idiot. Hello. Why is that coming off with water? Because not everything on this palette is ink, that's why. Welcome to Belinda Town, population -1. Okay. All right.
Like there was someone here, but he died.
No, my brain just like ate itself and imploded through my asshole. Like, okay, bye. You used to be smart. What happened to you? Alcoholism. Just kidding. Sort of. Not really. I'm kidding. I don't have alcoholism yet, as far as I know.
Okay.
I mean, I should have it. I would like to. I can blame all my problems on it. All right, so let's do something different today. Let's play. Let's play. Let us play. I don't play. Look at all this. Look at all this shit. Look at all this fucking ink. My name's Belinda, and I have to buy one of everything. Once I decide I want something, I gotta buy every color, because I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know why I do that. But now I have...
add multiple things to your cart.
Now no, shut up. Hey. Hey now.
You're an all-star kitchen game.
Don't you dare. Don't, we'll get copyright strike for All-Star. Fuck off. Mm-hmm.
Should I draw one doing the middle finger?
I don't care. You do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you what to make.
But, like, if you're going to use them, are you going to use that one?
Yeah?
Okay.
Do you think I'd be like, oh, no, that one's too risky. Don't use the middle finger.
Well, that's what Mom would say. And, like, I don't know if she...
Did you just compare me to Mom?
No.
Did you know we have a really big hill behind our house that I'm pretty sure if I threw you down it, you would probably die? Or at least not get up for a really long time? I'm just saying. How are you? You're mad? Mad in what way? I mean, we're all mad here. Welcome to the tea party. Do you want to be my VIP? Too bad.
You mean my +1? VIP.
It's a song. I would play it, but so for my when people like add me on stuff, like Mixer and stuff. It's a song by Curly. Do you know Curly? I feel like you should know Curly. I feel like I should mute this for a second so you can hear it. 1 second. All right, so I am going to do this by using this guy right here because it's the easiest way to do this. It's not the most professional or the best sounding way, but it's the easiest way. And I don't want to fight with it, to be completely honest. Woodrow, do not. Whatever you're thinking about doing, just don't. Like, just don't do it. How about that? Just, how about it? Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And we'll be fine. Just don't do it. Whatever you're thinking about. Don't do that either. In fact, why don't you get out of the room? I'll just kick you out and lock the door. Alrighty.
What are you doing?
Are you ready? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Headphones. Of course they're 1/4 inch. Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be 1/4 inch? Ugh. I have like 700 of these. No, he needs to get out of here. He needs to go.
I'm so confused from the noise I made.
Oh, yeah? Why do I buy everything wrong? Why is everything the wrong thing? Like, I got 3 of these, and they're all the wrong direction. It's fine. Yeah, like, I have 1/8 to 1/4 and not 1/4 to 1/8. Whatever. Peekaboo. Wait a minute. This is an extender. This is an extender. It will not work. GG. You can't be in here. I need you to go. I need you to go, and I'm gonna hold you and throw you out of the room and then lock you out. Bye. Goodbye.
Look at him.
Goodbye. Okay. Damn, he's angry. When you're angry but still a potato. Okay, so where are my headphones? Like, that's what I need. All I need. I just need 1/8 to 1/8. Like, I always need an 1/8 to 1/8. Like, I never don't need one. 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch, motherfuckers. Hope I'm not still recording, because this is gonna be dumb. I feel like I'm putting it on. Probably won't work right. But that's okay. I don't care. I'm gonna use it anyway. Huh. Alrighty, let's see here. This one can go here. This one can go here. Here. Shh, get in there. No talking. Hey, it's working. But can you do this?
What is it?
What?
Boys.
Oh, that was PewDiePie. That was a joke.
Why can't you do this?
Alright. Alright, what do we got here? Let's go into the... I do like this one. Let's see if... Hello.
Today I'd like to talk to you about becoming a robot. Unfortunately, my sister can't hear this voice, but you can. Today I'd like to talk to you about becoming a robot. Unfortunately, my sister can't hear this voice, but you can. Everything sounds better in robot voice. If you don't believe me, or agree with me, it's alright. You're allowed to be wrong.
The problem is, of course, the sound is coming through here, so... Since the sound is coming through here, I have to play with it normally, because I didn't send it through the thing, so...
No! It wasn't on.
So you can, you said it wasn't on? Like the thing wasn't on? You can, still scan it. This has a vocoder too, but I have a vocoder, so... Let's do B. hear what's going on underneath there, that sound. Your arpeggiator should be on. Let's go to middle. Ooh. What is that? What's that? I like that farty sound. I like that the speaker can take it too. Interesting. Oh, I'm on the B side. No wonder it can. Here we go. This is the one. Okay, kids. How's it going? I wonder if my sister's freaking out yet. Today we go into space. To hyperspace. Shall we tell a story? What's a good story? Story time. Can you hear it? not shit like the last one. All right, let's slow it down. Key of F. Just to slow it down. This story is called The DSF Rejection Ceremony. Worthy author Benjamin, we thank you for your contribution to our cause. The words were almost too much for the editor to speak. As the silver casket rolled into the airlock, he paused and lowered his eyes, readying himself for the next solemn line. Your creation, Conversation at the Mermage and Technomage, was received with love and joy by our family in the august halls of the daily science fiction orbital station. Its music it made, the emotions it evoked in our hearts, will never be forgotten, as long as Father Time allows the stars to burn in the heavens. To our deepest sorrow, though, it could not remain with us. One hand came down on the ejection button. The other came up to wipe away the moisture that threatened to fall from his eyes. The station's gravitational field retracted to exclude the airlock and casket. Like the phantom of a disheartened soul, slightly rose from its carrying frame. From his booth, the editor watched the poor shell levitate into view of the rest of the DSF staff. They had gathered in the observational atrium behind the opposite wall to pay their respects to the fallen story. So young, so innocent. 3 more actions remained, and more had to be said. The editor knew every sad line by heart. He pushed another button to depressurize the airlock chamber. We have received so many unique inventions from Earth and its outlying territories. He steeled himself to continue speaking. And in our presence, all are subject to the trials of combat. Know then, worthy author, that it is unlikely your child fell due to weakness, as every contender vies for the glories of active duty. Many misfortunes can occur. Perhaps its fighting style was ill-suited to our form of zero-gravity techno-magical competition. Perhaps a fellow contestant imitated your story's general mannerisms, undercutting its originality and thereby weakening its chances of survival. And maybe, just maybe, there was more room on the Victor shuttle, no budget for an extra seat. For these reasons, or any half a dozen others, your wonderful creation cannot be with us today. He pulled a lever. The airlock doors opened with a dreary crunch. May the rocket dragons bear your story away to happier shores. May the life enter your work once again. Let it gain skill from the fall it has suffered with us. May it one day enter the arena of another publication to overcome its foes with captivating force. May we one day sing your story's praises along the jubilant choirs of the universe, and may the celebration remain in your heart forever. We bid farewell to Mermaid and Technomage, and pray that we may see it again for the company of the Eternal. The rocket booster on the casket fired once, only once. In space, one burst was all it took. The editors and commanding officers of the DSF watched the gleaming capsule glide through the airlock's open mouth into space, the dirge of lost heroes, to the same sung by the Gandalf fell in Balrog's clutches. Rose from each person's throat to honor the sacrifice of their late friend and its maker. In space, the story was free once again. The casket glowed with a radiance of its own, shining and separating into millions of electrons that scattered across the universe. The ceremony had ended. Wiping his eyes again, the editor glanced at the roster. Many more stories had to be sent away. The next one would arrive in a few minutes. If only they could make it to the end of this fateful day. Sadly, satellites are terrible at translating this solemn ceremony. The wishes and sentiments of the mortals mangled up in the binary code, diluting in the electromagnetic waves as they bounced from server to server. By the time the message had come to rest on my mobile device, this was all that remained. Benjamin, thank you for submitting your story. Conversation at the Mermaid and Technomage to Daily Science Fiction. Unfortunately, we have decided not to publish it. I guess he got rejected is what happened. Poor dude. It's not a program, I'm just like running a YouTube video. Okay. Let's do a recent story. Emotions? I don't care.
I don't know what all emotions you have.
A nun. I'm a robot. You should, instead of making them faces with emotions, just make like a bunch of faces doing stuff like, eating or pooping or, vomiting. I don't know. What would you use?
I don't know. I don't use Facebook.
You use your phone.
Yeah.
You use Instagram.
Yeah.
Does Instagram have stickers?
No.
Yeah, it does.
Like on the stories.
Yeah, but you can make your own. But you can make your own. Okay, let's do Playmates. This is the name of this one. Let me pop this over a little more. It's hard to read with like no space here. So Caretaker. I have to do voices on this one. Fuck. Didn't change key. There we go. All right. I'm doing my very best, you know, Caretaker says, its synthesized voice cool and melodic, and carefully betraying no trace of annoyance. Sybil only shakes her head. She is tucked up into the furthest corner of the concrete bunker, her skinny arms wrapped around her shins, nubby crayons and print lab reports scattered around her. But it's Mr. Spaghetti Man, Caretaker says. Oh, wait. Caretaker, really? Okay. But it's Mr. Spaghetti Man, Caretaker says. He wants to play. You love Mr. Spaghetti Man. In the center of the bunker, still fresh and wet from the bioprinter, is Caretaker's last attempt. Bipedal on crooked legs, the pebbly flesh of its torso striped blue and orange, long slippery fingers dangling like jellyfish and tendrils from its boneless arms. The faces are hardest. Caretaker used 2 blotches of melanin for the eyes and carved a rubbery gouge of a smile. Caretaker works with what it has, and to Sybil's specifications to boot. I don't want to play with him, Sybil says quietly. Her eyes flicker to the rumbled lab reports where she drew her imaginary friend with his cheerful grin and blue-orange sweater and funny noodle hands that he chews on when he gets hungry. It looks nothing like the trembling monster sucking his breath after labored breath into stillness of the biolab. If you were a more skilled artist, if you were a more skilled artist, maybe the results would be more to your liking, Caretaker says mildly. It wishes it could trawl the webs for reference material, but they all went dark long ago. Its only source of input is a frightened little girl. It's not easy. I want to go up. Can't we go up? Sybil says, rubbing her puffy pink little eyes. You know we can't, Sybil, Caretaker says. For the 129th time, bad things are happening. Are you sure about Mr. Spaghetti Man? Absolutely sure. Sybil raises her fist and gives the traditional thumbs down. Caretaker prods the electrodes hooked up into its puppet's crude nervous system, and Mr. Spaghetti Man begins the march toward the recycler to join Mindy Lou, Huggles, Tree Climber Bunny, and a human-haired facsimile of Sybil's family dog, Cola.